On an foreboding night, an void classified at Profundity 12 shows up, perilous sufficient to summon the rulers of creatures. Noel's granddad takes him to the shield for security and illuminates him that he will go battle the creatures until Bolster arrives from the capital. He at that point takes off, heading out to the city to battle the foes. After the fight, he wanders into the city as it were to discover the beast killed on the ground and his granddad gravely harmed next to them. Mournfully, Noel promises that he will gotten to be in Pilgrim as well, and will never acknowledge Vanquish. A long time afterward, we see Noel with his companions, presently in Pioneer like his granddad, as they assault and murder a beast, and Noel cautions Walter not to belittle them. When Noel assaults another creature, Tanya intercedes to slaughter it and clarifies that in the event that the heads of these beasts aren't disjoined, they will recover. All of a sudden, a creature shows up from behind and discharges a foul-noticing gas. When Tanya tries to assault, the beast strikes her down, thumping her to the ground. Noel all of a sudden recaptures awareness, recalling his guarantee. He rapidly gets up, gets his weapon, and stands sometime recently the foe. He at that point employments his extraordinary capacity, which boosts everyone's capacities by 25%. He orders Tanya to spread shields on these beasts, whereas Lloyd and Walter continue their assaults. Their strikes are fruitful, but when Noel looks up, he takes note more beasts covering up. At that point, Noel employments his shocking yell capacity, which oversees to thump all the creatures down. Noel, as it were, has one shot cleared out. Noel inquires Lloyd and Walter to utilize their hostile abilities on the ruler. They do so, enacting the Air Edge and Dangerous Surge, effectively slaughtering the beast and affirming the passing of the foe Pioneer. At that minute, Noel recollects when he was a child with his granddad. We return to the present, where Noel talks to himself, decided to be similar to his granddad, but indeed superior, the capital of the Felnant realm. We at that point see Noel and his bunch eating at an eatery, where Noel notices that when he turned 15 and gotten his explorer's certificate, he'd chosen to move to Atray and begin looking for partners. Walter at that point tells him that he faculties Noel isn't cheerful, as they came here nowadays to celebrate and lift their spirits. He suspects Noel is still disturbed almost their benefits, since he was sure they would gain more. Walter tells him that he ought to think greater, and not center on cash in this way, including that Noel's granddad would likely say the same thing. Noel recollects his granddad telling him, "Pilgrim's got to be precise about cash. Without cash, you're frail, and that's after you can say farewell to your dreams." Noel says, "I'm not irate. It's over." Tanya reacts, "You're the one who keeps bringing it up. It's lamentable." Noel apologizes, saying, "I'm too bad for always being off base. But you're continuously right, a shining illustration for all of us." Walter, indeed more disturbed, yells, "All you are doing is stow away behind us and allow orders. You remain secure whereas we chance our lives out there." Noel answers, "So that's how you truly feel? You really think you're valuable whereas I'm useless?" Afterward, Lloyd talks to Tanya, saying, "After deducting the party's stores, we each have 250,000 fills cleared out, but our party's resources are developing consistently. In case we get another enormous mission, we'll make a colossal benefit." Noel talks to Lloyd. Tall paying employments like this are uncommon. Not at all like the clans, which can get errands from the government. We have 12.8 million. We'll utilize that cash to begin our claim clan. Lloyd answers, "The government requires 20 million to begin a clan." Noel, "I'll cover the remaining 7.2 million myself. We'll earn way more with our claim clan." Noel stands firm, saying, "Starting a clan is something I won't back down from. In case everybody denies, I'll discover other individuals. I concur with this choice since I'm the pioneer." And they all concur to examine it more the following day. The following morning, Walter surges to Noel, telling him that Lloyd and Tanya have deceived them and left on their possess. Noel is stunned by this news. Our scene starts nowadays, with Noel perusing a letter, which was composed by his companion Lloyd. In brief, it says that Lloyd made a few terrible ventures and fell into profound obligation, so he utilized 12.8 million record from their group's stores to pay it off. At this point, Noel starts chuckling insanely. Walter gets to be bothered and says this isn't the time for giggling. He at that point inquires Noel, "When and where did you get this letter?" Noel tells him, "I fair got it at Lloyd's Put." Noel realizes they must have snuck out sometime recently. Itray's entryway is closed for the night, but Walter, there ought to be a record of their flight. Ready to inquire the specialists which door they left from and attempt to capture up with them. Walter concurs to take off promptly, but Noel stops him, indicating out that they haven't made a range, however. Walter says, "I'll discover Lloyd and punch him in the confront. That's the, as it were, thing that will calm my anger." Walter is stunned. At that point, Noel inquires, "Are you sure you'll beat Lloyd?" Walter answers, "I can, but as it were, along with your bolster." At this minute, Noel's eyes turn ruddy and seethe, and he says, "My witticism is to reimburse my companion and my adversary alike 1,000 times over." After that, Noel enters a bar and calls out to everybody there saying, "Tune in up, pioneers. I have a ask for all of you here. Lloyd and Tanya, individuals of our bunch, Blue Skyline, stolen our reserves and fled. We need you to discover them and capture them lively. We're advertising a compensate of 2 million Philly." One of the pilgrims raises his hand, and they acknowledge the ask. The pilgrim surges off to discover them and claim the remunerate. An ancient man approaches them and says that he knows where Lloyd and Tanya are. I saw two travelers who looked a bit like them on my way back from a mission. Walter requests that the ancient man tell him their area, but the man tries to deal for something in return. Noel reacts, I'll provide you 1 million record on the off chance that you offer assistance us in trade for your data. Noel, Walter, and the ancient man set off together. At the side, others from there gather. In the meantime, we see Lloyd and Tanya traveling and listen. Lloyd say, let's take a break today, and set off once more tomorrow morning. But all of a sudden, they listen Noel's voice, and sometime recently they know it. They're encompassed by the others. Noel conveys a effective blow. Utilizing his thunder yell method, Walter chastens his companion Lloyd, inquiring why they deceived them. Lloyd apologizes, but Noel begins talking to him. I get it from your letter, but what did you are doing with the bounty from the youthful vampires? Lloyd apologizes once more, and cannot respond. I didn't need to utilize the party stores, but I was in enormous obligation. Noel punches Lloyd to hush him, and he falls to the ground incapable to talk. Noel punches him once more, his eyes shining ruddy with outrage. Noel proceeds to punch Lloyd over and over until blood begins dribbling from his mouth. Everybody is startled by Noel's heartlessness. Tanya asks Noel to halt and not harm Lloyd further, but Noel reacts coldly. Ought to I kick you in step? I don't care whether you're a man or a lady. Noel at that point tries to wade Tanya into confessing, denouncing her for betting nearby Lloyd. Tanya concedes, yes, I was betting with him as well. Noel's air slowly shifts to a profound ruddy until it changes into the shape of a mammoth serpent. In the meantime, the ancient man talks up, reminding Noel, it's time for installment. 1 million records. Here and presently, Noel reacts. You'll get your cash? Fair, hold up some minutes? In any case, the ancient man develops anxious and snatches Noel's arm. Noel throws him to the ground, saying, I told you you'll get your cash. Just sit down and hold up over there along with your cheap equip, you disappointment. But the ancient man tries to go up against Noel once more, so Noel conveys the effective strike to his chest. A huge cart shows up, and a vendor named Pinocchio steps out. Pinocchio at that point turns to Noel and inquires, am I late? The dealer talks to Noel saying, I rushed here for you. Noel answers, yes, I had a feeling these two would go bankrupt, so I struck a bargain with Pinocchio to recover the cash we misplaced. I'll offer Lloyd and Tanya to Pinocchio as slaves. Tanya is stunned, saying, we'll never concur to that. Noel reacts, in case you do not concur, I'll turn you over to the military police. Noel tells him he'll offer them for 11 million. The dealer is stunned, inquiring, why has the cost gone up by 5 million? When Pinocchio talks, Noel raises the cost indeed higher, making Pinocchio incensed. Pinocchio concurs to Noel's terms, saying, but only this once. A short time later, the dealer gives Noel the guaranteed down installment. Diana asks Noel to spare her since they're companions. He answers, companions do not bet with their friends' cash. He then leaves her. After that, Noel gives the youthful man 1 million as a remunerate for making a difference him capture Lloyd and Tanya. The young man furiously reacts, you are a merciless evil spirit. The scene at that point shifts to Walter, who is talking to Noel. He at that point apologizes, saying he will take off his job as a pioneer. He offers Walter goodbye and clears out. Noel at that point tells himself, now everything is back to zero. He looks at the wind car and reflects, snakes shed their ancient skins to develop modern, more grounded scales. I should do that.